The views and opinions expressed in this video are solely those of the Fat Bearded Vinyl Guy and should not be taken seriously by sane people. What is going on, Vinyl Nation, music lovers, and other random hangers-on? It's Matt the Fat Bearded Vinyl Guy back in the vinyl air with, I know, right, a video. Yeah, I'm going to give it the old college try once again. Fifth time's the charm, right? It might actually be more than that. At any rate, I'm starting up the video van once again. I've decided today to give you a big wet kiss. I am brushing off Kiss's 1982 album, Creatures of the Night. This featured the last credited appearance of Ace Frehley, who had literally nothing to do with this album besides a little bit of promotion. After this album came out, Kiss took the makeup off, which seemed like a good idea at the time. Probably was. I don't know. I'm not in charge of those decisions. Kiss was one of my favorite bands in my formidable high school years because I was subjected to documentaries about how rock music was satanic and rock musicians were all Satan worshipers. But honestly, all it did was tell us who the good bands were. Kiss naturally fell into that category for yours truly. So with that being said, let's crack this can of Kiss open. Oh, dang. Yes, this is how you start an album. I'll admit that Kiss did Eric Carr dirty on the Elder album, but here they start side one, track one with a massive drum fill and heavy chugging guitars. Where has this been for the last few albums, right? Paul's got a good voice in this song. He's got just enough grit in there to match the intensity of the track. When the solo comes around, it is clearly not Ace. It's a bit beyond the pentatonic scale that Ace leans on. Session man and later Mr. guitarist Steve Ferris does the solo on this track. He also auditioned to join Kiss. In fact, his audition is the solo on Creatures of the Night. One take, nailed it. The only reason he didn't join, he really can't sing. Another ringer on this track is bassist Mike Porcaro, another session man who joined Toto in 1982. So the only members of Kiss that actually played on this track is Paul Stanley and Eric Carr. Despite that, the song smokes. Don't know where we're going, just know where we've been. Vinnie Vincent makes his Kiss debut on Saint and Sinner, playing all the guitar parts. Paul Stanley sitting this one out. Vinnie starts all by himself until Eric Carr comes thundering in. The first thing that I notice with my really nice headphones is that I can hear Gene plucking his bass strings, and you can even sometimes hear the buzzing of the strings. You don't get that with Pro Tools. I can really feel the difference with Eric Carr on the skins on this track. Vinnie turns in a solid solo. He's not trying to do too much. It's one of Gene's better vocal performances in my ears. Of course, a cardinal sin is fading out on a guitar solo. I don't mind fading out, but during a guitar solo, come on, man, that's poorly produced. Gene's probably singing about his breakup with Diana Ross, which apparently busted him up so badly that he refused to play bass on a few tracks on the record. Next to you, I feel I'm all alone, love's turned to stone, kiss my heart, bye-bye, I don't need no woman at all. Sure, Gene. The next year you'll meet one Shannon Tweed and you'll court her for about 3 decades before putting a ring on it. Naturally, you can't have a Gene Simmons penned ode without a lame lyric alert. What do we have this time? Let's take a look. You're a saint, I'm a sinner, but deuces are wild. What does that mean? I'm not gonna die, cross my heart and hope to cry. I can't. No. Keep Me Comin' is the first song on this album that all of Kiss is playing on. Paul is on rhythm guitar, Gene on bass, Eric did all the drums on the entire record, so he showed up every day, and Vinnie Vincent did lead guitar. I count it because, yes, he did join Kiss. First thought, I love Paul's guitar tone on this track. It's different enough where it shakes up the feel of the record so far. Paul's making his moves on a girl. I know your plans, where you're keeping your hands. Each little bite makes me know that you're ripe. There is nothing subtle in this track. Even the title, Keep Me Comin'. Vinny's got a cool guitar harmony part before his short solo and call and response with Paul. The last 50 seconds is just repeating "Keep Me Coming" over and over until it fades out. I usually like to end with a lyric, but I think I've creeped you out enough. Those were some of the less creepy lines. Rock and Roll Hell is another heavy thumper. It's a reworked version of a Bachman-Turner Overdrive song of the same name, but co-written by Gene, Jim Vallance, and Bryan Adams. That cut like a knife. The BTO version is more, BTO, but the chorus is same as the Kiss version. Jazz fusion / blues guitarist Robben Ford, at the time of the Yellow Jackets, did the guitar parts on this track. Paul Stanley sat out this one again. Ford has gone on record that the 9 days he spent in the studio with Simmons and Stanley were the most unusual in his career. Personally, I think 9 days with Kiss would be the most unusual in any context. Gene drives this song with a simple yet chugging bass line. Robben Ford doesn't add anything flashy. His solo is short and to the point. It's a simple meat and potatoes rocker that fits the bill here. Nobody gonna tell him what to do. I think he's a little like me and you. On Danger, Gene Simmons decides to sit out, and so the ringer on this track was Yellow Jackets bassist Jimmy Haslip, who was called by producer Michael James Jackson at 11 p.m. asking to come and play on a Kiss album, after Haslip had been in another studio all day. His bass is almost drowned out by Eric Carr's thundering drums, but it serves the song. There's been a couple of tracks so far that I swear I hear synths, but nothing that I've read have anything about anyone doing any synths. Vinnie Vincent has some more good guitar harmony parts in the verse and in his solo. It's a nice touch and a change of pace from previous Kiss sounds. It's another solid thumper. Gimme fires that endlessly burn. Side 2 starts off with Eric Carr's thundering drum intro. It's a basic beat, but man, it pounds. I don't care what Gene Simmons sang on the Destroyer album or the fact that Paul Stanley wrote God of Thunder, but Eric Carr was the God of Thunder, and this song proves it. This song was made for the live experience. The hey, yeah begs for the audience to scream it right back at you. Vinnie Vincent is back on all the guitar parts. Paul is sitting this one out again. It's your basic rock song, man. Simple drum pattern. Guitar parts aren't flashy. It's just meant to be big and bombastic. Even Vinnie's solo isn't much. The feel of the song is the star here. It's an arena anthem in the vein of Rock and Roll All Night. I love it loud. Everything about this song points to those 4 words. Turn it up, hungry for the medicine, two-fisted to the very end. It ain't deep, but if you're looking for poetry with Kiss, you're gonna have a bad time. The song fades out twice, a nod to Beatles songs like Helter Skelter and Strawberry Fields Forever. Gene has not been shy about expressing his love for the Beatles. The only ringer on this song, engineer Dave Whitman, who did backing vocals on this one. No more Treated Like Aliens, we're not gonna take it. I Still Love You is the obligatory ballad for the record, and another that Gene decided to sit out on. Eric Carr takes the bass on this track, and Robben Ford returns to play the lead parts on this track. It's the longest track on the album, clocking in at just north of 6 minutes, and is one of Paul Stanley's most emotional vocal performances. I usually give the side-eye to Paul Stanley penned opuses that say things like, I'm gonna love you forever, you know, the usual baby I need you lyrics, but this song, he makes you feel it. When he does the I still at 4 minutes 57 seconds, live, he will stretch that out until I swear he's gonna pass out. Paul's girl is leaving and he should take it like a man. She's gotta go, she's gotta know it's killing him. But he still loves her. Gets you kind of right there. At least until the next town and the next bevy of beauties that come knocking on his door. But Paul makes you feel it here, and you feel the pounding drums and bass in your heart, and you actually kind of feel for the guy. I see the price of losing you will be my hell to pay each and every day. The penultimate track, Killer, was the first song that Gene Simmons and Vinnie Vincent wrote together, and honestly, I think this one should have been left on the cutting room floor. It's your typical Gene song about a woman who's being a pain, literally in this case. There's S&M type imagery here, sex and violence, whips and chains. For me, something else could have gone here. Maybe one of the newer tracks that was on the Killers compilation later, such as I'm a Legend Tonight, Nowhere to Run, or even It's My Life, which ended up being something for Wendy O. Williams. And I think that could have been a hit for Kiss, but what do I know? Next. Gene gets final say on the Creatures record with War Machine. Gene plays rhythm guitar on this thundering track that could be used in a war documentary. There might even be something on YouTube with this song cut with images from Star Wars. I just think I gave someone an idea. I get 10%, remember that. Just like the rest of the album, this song thunders. Gene is the dog that turns on his owner. Want to bite the hand that feeds me, want to turn the tides, strike down the one who leads me and take his place. This is one of those songs that I associate with Gene Simmons, much like Mr. Blackwell from The Elder. The guitar riff plays like a bass line, and that gives the track power. The second time I saw Kiss, they played this one, and during the final chorus, they had the big towers of flame, and holy hell in a handbasket, that was cool. Armageddon, that's just a matter of time. For me, this is the last great Kiss album. Ironic, because the only credited member of Kiss to play on the entire album was the new guy, Eric Carr. After this, the makeup came off, Kiss got a little kitschy, Gene started wanting to do anything but be in Kiss. The guys leaned a little too much into the glam, and not much of what Kiss did in the 80s worked for me. Granted, there were some glimpses of brilliance, but for every Heaven's on Fire or Lick It Up, there was a Thrills in the Night or Tears Are Falling. Not until the reunion with Ace and Peter was Kiss really back in my mind. Sadly, that didn't last long enough to get a good album with all 4 original members. And don't start with me on Psycho Circus. Ace played on only 2 songs, Peter only 1. This was truly an end of an era. Kiss as a band would continue, but the idea of Kiss, I think, kind of died after this one. Granted, it was on life support after Unmasked and The Elder. I still love this band, but they were never again as good as they were right here. That's it for me. FatBeardedVinylGuy.com is the website with all the goodies. So until next time, whatever you call God bless, and I will catch you on the B-side.